I want to make a few additional comments about the border and Governor Abbott. Tucker Carlson has confronted Governor Abbott several times, asking him, why don't you just straight up close the Texas border? Repel any illegal alien that comes across. Just tell them, we're armed, we're here, you can't illegally cross our border, and put an end to it. And he says, well, I don't want to do that. There's a couple excuses he makes. One is like if we send our National Guards men to go out there and detain illegal aliens across the border, foreign invaders, that's what they are. They're really foreign invaders. So if they come across and our National Guardsmen or State Guard apprehend, detain, and deport the foreign invaders, he says, well, what could happen is the federal government could arrest our National Guardsmen or State Guardsmen for doing that. Let them. I don't think that they have the guts to do it, because right now, once that Texas says we're going to put up back up the wire, if you cut the wire, we're just going to roll it out again. If they're not going to cut the wire at this point, and they show no intention to doing that, do you think they're actually going to arrest our National Guardsmen or State Guardsmen from protecting our nation and our state from a foreign invasion? I don't think let them do it. Let them do it. Let's take it to court. Let's take it to trial. Let's defend our Texas National Guardsmen and State Guardsmen when they defend our nation and our state from a foreign invasion. You have to have the courage to call their bluff. Do it. Do it. And the other thing he was saying recently is it's like, well, I don't want to allow for them to carry weapons or have to discharge their weapons. We need to be behind our National Guardsmen 100%. And they should be able to protect themselves and our state from criminal activity, from cartel activity. And of course, we don't want, these are highly trained and professional soldiers. They're not going to just go around, mowing people down. I don't want that to happen. That's not necessary. But if you have a cartel member, a coyote, that is threatening our soldiers and putting them in imminent risk, then our soldiers should be empowered to defend themselves and protect themselves and eliminate a threat from criminals. Who are these cartel members? Well, they're drug traffickers, so they have, through the open border, brought in enough fentanyl to kill mostly teenagers and young people. 100,000 a year. So the past 3 years, that's 300,000 young people poisoned by the drug cartels. Oh, let's not brandish weapons against these people. Sex trafficking. Child sex trafficking. Oh, let's not allow our soldiers to have to defend themselves. Let's not have them go out there armed. I think they should be. These are dangerous, deadly people. I mean, did you see The Sound of Freedom? Look at what these people are doing to children. And I also want to encourage you to watch Police State, where you had this woman. She wanted to help migrant children, and she was helping transport them. It didn't take her long to realize that she was transporting children to be sexually trafficked by gangs in the Mexican drug cartel. And then she became a whistleblower, and what was her reward for doing the right thing to protect children? They fired her. Be informed. Watch The Sound of Freedom. Watch Police State and see what's going on, and you'd see that we're not doing enough. What is it going to take? 8 million, 12 million, 20 million, perhaps. We don't even know for sure. Some people estimate 20 million illegal aliens have crossed our borders since Joe Biden took office. That includes millions, potentially over 10 million people that crossed through Texas. Governor Abbott has a moral obligation to protect Texas, to protect our nation. These things he's doing are half measures. In a way, I'm glad they're sending them to these sanctuary cities so they can enjoy being a sanctuary city and everything that comes with it. I like the buoys. That's great. I like they're running barbed wire, but they're not doing enough. And he hasn't. He should not allow this to happen to our state and our nation. This open border is leading to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people through the drugs pouring across the border. And it's potentially going to lead to the destruction of our nation. Do you love America? Do you love Texas? Do you love the people? Then you have a moral obligation to deter this foreign invasion of tens of millions of people invading our borders. And yet he doesn't seem to take it seriously or see the threat that it poses to all Americans. It's time for action. It's time for Governor Abbott to finally rise the occasion and keep us safe. That's the fundamental responsibility of the government. And he has been remiss. These half measures are good. Now the time has come to take action to keep Americans safe and to keep our country intact and stop anyone from coming into our country illegally and totally seal the border for peace, prosperity, and rule of law. We must demand that Governor Abbott do more to protect us on our border.
Hey folks, Chuck Holton here. I was trying to do a live to show this to you, but there's not enough cell service down here, so I'm just going to have to do it as a video and upload it when I get somewhere that's got some bandwidth. But I am just about 2 miles outside of Eagle Pass, where I've been showing you the park, Shelby Park down there in the center of town, where the Border Patrol and the Texas National Guard are clashing down there over whether or not to let the migrants cross freely across the Rio Grande River from Mexico and enter the United States. But here's how you know that that's all just political theater meant for the masses in an election year. And that's because right here, I'm right on the border wall. You see that border wall going south into Eagle Pass. And the problem is, right here, the wall just ends. Look at that. And if you go over here, that's not Mexico yet. Mexico's over by the tree line over there. But there is no barbed wire to speak of to keep people from coming across right here. And if you look this way, there's no more wall as far as I can see looking north. So, but here's the real kicker. How do you know that migrants are actually using this spot as a place to cross the border? Well, look right here. There's bags of clothing, trash bags that they use to keep their clothing dry, their new clothing, and they take off their old clothing that they've been wearing for days that's all sweaty and nasty, and they change clothes. That's one of the first things that illegal aliens do when they cross into the United States, is change their clothes into a clean set of clothing. And these most likely are gotaways, people who just, they went right in, or they had somebody come pick them up on this road that you can see right there, that's just a few feet away. But they leave pretty much everything else behind. I'm going to show you here. There's a cell phone case, there's a bra, there's some shampoo, some pills of some kind, toothbrush, combs, and clothing. So it was obviously men and women coming through here, and it's wide open, only 2 miles outside of Eagle Pass. So if the government of Texas was serious about stopping this migration, they would be stopping it everywhere, or at least trying to, and they would be stopping the trade that goes back and forth from Mexico, and that would be the way to get Mexico to take a stand and stop the migration, would be to hit them in their pocketbook. But they're not doing that, and that's how you know that this is really just political theater.
in history begin the victory.